Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Have a little check on Transmission Gully with our Crispy, who's out and about. I think he's at Nga Manu today. Morning, Crispy.
I am. And Nga Manu is probably a reasonable distance away from the Transmission Gully project. So why are we here? Well, let's have a chat to the Senior Environmental Advisor, Reuben Mills. Nice to meet you, Reuben.
Yeah, hi. Nice to meet you.
Now, we're talking lizards today, and you've caught something like 50-odd lizards over the last couple of years.
Yeah, hi, Corran. Yeah, we've had a relationship with the lizards for about 2.5 years now. As part of our project, we were required to search for and capture lizards along our alignment. That was part of vegetation clearance requirements, but also we had some boulder fields which the lizards tend to like to live in.
Okay, so I didn't realise that the lizards had already been here for 2.5 years, and tomorrow you're actually taking them from Nga Manu, and where are you putting them?
Yeah, so if I just talk about Nga Manu, we've developed a special relationship with Nga Manu Nature Reserve. As part of our work with Nga Manu, we worked to refurbish half of the Tuatara breeding facility, and we've constructed 12 habitat containment areas within that the lizards are being held in. So the aim of that was to do something that was enduring with Nga Manu, that we could use during our time, and that we could leave with Nga Manu for other projects and other research activities. So we're very pleased to have this relationship with Nga Manu. They're skilled and caring in this area, and it's awesome.
Fantastic. Well, they've certainly got a good history with the Tuatara. So the lizards, they've been in this enclosure for the last 2.5 years. So how do you transport lizards from one place to another?
Yeah, so in terms of when we first captured the lizards on Transmission Gully project, we actually had to go through unbundling some boulder fields themselves. As part of that, we put, fences around so the lizards couldn't get away. Then they were carefully captured and put in, containers with vegetation in it. So they like to get inside that with some moss and some leaves in it, and they'll hide underneath and calm down. So that's the good thing. We also searched a lot of vegetation from some of the trees and smaller vegetation that was moved, and searched through that as well. In all, we caught about 61 lizards. There was some tree gecko, some common brown, and some common browns, and what was the other one? Just let me check. Yeah, some common skink and some brown skink. So we've had them here for 2.5 years, and we were hoping over this time that there would be opportunity for them to breed as well.
Have they done that?
So yeah, we've had some breeding over the last 2 years. We won't know the final count until our herpetologists and the Nga Manu people unbundle the habitat here today. And then we'll have a better idea of how many lizards we have to release into the wild.
Fantastic. I think this is just an amazing story. Again, it's not all about the engineering, it's actually about the environment as well. So is there an iwi connection to the lizards as well?
Yeah, there is a strong connection with the two iwi in this area. You've got Te Atiawa ki Whakarongotai around the Waikanae area, and because we use Nga Manu in this area as our holding facility, Te Atiawa blessed the holding facility, and Don Tumaipi at that time called it Te Whare Rakahore, which has a special meaning in terms of a house for the lizards. Now, when we are on site, that's under the kaitiaki of Ngāti Toa. So Ngāti Toa has been helping us with the blessings on our site, vegetation removal, opening of stream diversions, and there's a strong link between those two iwi. So when we release tomorrow, we'll have a releasing ceremony from Te Atiawa, from Nga Manu, and then on site when we release the lizards back into the wild, we'll have a joint blessing between Ngāti Toa and Te Atiawa. And the two guys from iwi that'll be leading that are Taku Parai from Ngāti Toa and Don Tumaipi from Te Atiawa ki Whakarongotai.
Fantastic stuff. All right, so the lizards are being released at 9:30 tomorrow morning or thereabout?
Yeah, the idea is that it'll take all day to find the lizards in the enclosures here. Now, they tend to hide under everything, get in the dirt, so it's a long time for our experts to find them. Then they'll be housed in small containers, held overnight in their original containers. They'll then work out what family groups they're going to release them back into. And There will be a blessing here at Nga Manu at 8:30, then on-site blessing at about 10 o'clock when they release them back into the piles, into the rock piles that we've constructed.
Fantastic. All right. Well, that's what's going to be happening with regard to these lizards. We're going to have some photographs, and we'll put those up onto our Facebook page as well, so if you'd like to see what they look like. And it really is going to be something very cool that's happening. I think this is just amazing that the environment has been looked after so well on the Transmission Gully motorway project.
Yeah. I think the other thing I'd like to mention too is that as part of the project, we're supporting a PhD student doing some research on lizard habitat and the lizard release. So Zoe Lennon from Victoria is constructed 48, boulder fields on site to undertake some research as to how the lizards live in these boulder fields, the size of the rocks that they live in, any predators. We've done a lot of predator control around the boulder fields for mice, stoats, mustlers, rats, and those sort of things. So the site is prepped for the lizards to be released into. And then there'll be some research done over the next year or so on the lizards that are there. So it's a long-term project, and the information that will come for that will help with other projects in the country. So again, it's something we see as an enduring asset for the community. So we like to think we're here for a long term, not just for the build of the project.
Excellent stuff. All right, well, there you go. That's what's happening with the lizards, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be chatting with you, Reuben, who is the Senior Environmental Advisor for the Transmission Gully Motorway Project. I'm going to go and have a look at these lizards, so that's it from me. Out and about at Nga Manu, I'm Crispy for Beach FM 106.3.
106.3 Beach FM.